If you ever stood in front of a wine shelf thinking, I just want something good, stay with me. I'm Arsen Khachaturyants, possibly the youngest winemaker in the world. And in the next 10 minutes, I will show you the safest, easiest red wines to start with. Smooth, approachable, and almost impossible to get wrong. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to pick, even if you are a complete beginner. Let's get started. Cabernet Sauvignon is the most planted red grape in the world. If you walk into almost any wine shop, you will see this name. It originally comes from Bordeaux in France. Today, it is grown almost everywhere. For example, France, USA, especially California, Chile, Australia, South Africa, and of course, Italy. Now, here's what makes Cabernet Sauvignon distinctive: structure. It usually has full body, dark fruit, noticeable tannin. Sometimes it also has oak influence. Let's talk about aroma first. In simple terms, Cabernet Sauvignon often smells like black currant, black cherry, dark cherry. But there's something else in cooler climates you may notice. Green bell pepper. Herbal notes. That aroma is not random. Now let's talk about tannins. Cabernet Sauvignon has thick skins. Thicker skins mean more tannins. Tannins are compounds that create the drying sensation in your mouth. Cabernet often has more tannins than Merlot or Pinot Noir. Let's talk about alcohol now. Cabernet Sauvignon ripens late. In warm climates, grapes accumulate more sugar, and more sugar during fermentation becomes more alcohol. That's why Cabernet reach 14 to 15% alcohol. Higher alcohol increases body and creates a warming sensation. Combined with tannin, this can feel powerful. Without food, this can feel intense. With food, especially red meat, fat softens tannin. That is chemistry. Let's talk about price. The typical price range is about $10 to $30 for good everyday bottles. Prestige versions can be much higher. What should you look for on a shelf? If you want something softer, look for Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon. If you want something more classic, look for Bordeaux blends. If alcohol is above 14.5%, expect a fuller, heavier style. Let's talk about food pairings. We have steak, grilled meat, hard cheese. Cabernet Sauvignon is powerful. It needs powerful food. It's one of the world's most important grapes. But for beginners, it is often better as a second step, not the first. If you enjoy bold flavors, you may love it. If you prefer softer structure, start elsewhere. We're talking about red wines today, but I know many of you prefer white. I'll be doing a white wine series as well very soon. Subscribe to my channel now so you don't miss it. Merlot is one of the most popular red grapes in the world. It originally comes from Bordeaux in France, like Cabernet Sauvignon. Today, it is widely grown nearly everywhere: France, Italy, Chile, United States, Australia. And if Cabernet Sauvignon feels structured and firm, Merlot usually feels softer and rounder. Now let's start with aroma profile. Merlot often smells like plum, black cherry, red berries. The riper the grape at the harvest, the more intense those fruit aromas can feel. In warmer climates, you may also notice chocolate, cacao, soft spice. Now let's talk about structure. Merlot usually has medium body, moderate tannin, moderate acidity. Now let's talk about alcohol. In warm regions like California or Australia, Merlot can easily reach 13.5 to 14.5% alcohol. Higher alcohol adds body and can create a perception of sweetness, even though the wine is technically dry. And this is important. Most Merlot is dry, but ripe fruit plus alcohol can feel smooth and slightly sweet. That smoothness is often what beginners like. Now, Bordeaux. In Bordeaux, especially on the right bank, in regions like Saint-Emilion and Pomerol, Merlot is often the dominant grape, but it's usually blended with Cabernet Franc because Cabernet Franc adds structure and aromatic lift. So Bordeaux Merlot may feel more structured because it's a blend if you compare with a simple varietal Merlot from Chile or California. Typical price range, 10 to 20 bucks for very solid bottles. So let's go for food pairings. Pasta with tomato sauce, roast chicken, burgers, some mushroom dishes. Merlot works because it sits in the middle, not too dry, not too sharp, not too heavy. For beginners, it is often one of the safest starting points in red wine. Malbec is the most strongly associated with Argentina. However, originally it comes from France, especially the region of Cahors. But today, when most people think of Malbec, they think of Argentina. Now let's start with aroma profile. Malbec often smells like blackberry, plum, black cherry. In warmer regions, there's riper styles, and you may also notice cacao, vanilla, sweet spice. Many Argentine Malbec vineyards are planted at high altitude, often between 800 to 1,500 meters above sea level. Why does this matter? At high altitude, sunlight is intense during the day, but temperatures drop significantly at night. Warm days help grapes ripen fully. Cool nights preserve acidity. That balance creates ripe fruit with freshness. Malbec typically has medium to full body, moderate tannin, deep color. The deep color comes from high levels of anthocyanins, natural pigments found in grape skins. Malbec skins are relatively thick, which helps produce the dark purple appearance. Let's talk about tannins, because tannins are usually present but softer than Cabernet Sauvignon. That's why Malbec often feels bold but not aggressive. However, with alcohol in warm regions, Malbec can easily reach 14% alcohol or even more. Higher alcohol increases body and warmth, but when acidity is preserved, as in high-altitude vineyards, the wine remains balanced. Why does Malbec work for beginners? It gives depth without extreme dryness. It feels serious, but still approachable. It is often smoother than Cabernet, but fuller than Merlot. Typical price range is about 8 to 20 bucks for very good bottles. If you see Malbec, Argentina, on the shelf, it's usually a safe entry into fuller red wines. Food pairings for this wine: grilled meat, steaks, roasted vegetables. Malbec is often the bridge wine. If Merlot feels too soft and Cabernet feels too intense, Malbec sits comfortably in between. Okay, midpoint check. If you're still watching and at least one wine here passed your personal test, hit the like button right now and let's continue. Pinot Noir is very different from the grapes we just discussed. It's lighter, more delicate, less structured. It originally comes from Burgundy in France, and today it's widely grown nearly everywhere. In France, New Zealand, California, Germany, Oregon. Pinot Noir often smells like strawberry, raspberry, red cherry, lighter red fruit, not dark fruit. Because Pinot Noir is usually less extracted, meaning less skin contact intensity, those fruit aromas remain bright and clear. Now let's mention one compound that sometimes appears in Pinot Noir: rotundan. Rotundan is the compound responsible for black pepper aroma, which is more commonly associated with Syrah. But in cooler climate Pinot Noir, you may occasionally detect subtle spicy notes. Another common aromatic family in Pinot Noir is related to what we call tertiary aromas as the wine ages. With time, Pinot Noir can develop earthy notes, mushroom, forest floor. These come from complex aging reactions, not from added flavor. Pinot Noir is often harvested earlier than Cabernet Sauvignon. Because of that, alcohol levels are usually slightly lower, often around 12.5 to 14%. Lower alcohol means lighter body, less warmth, more elegance. And the typical price range is between 15 to 30 bucks for good bottles. If you see Pinot Noir clearly labeled, New Zealand or Oregon is often a reliable starting point. And food pairings: chicken, salmon, mushroom dishes, pizza. Pinot Noir works because it does not overpower food. Sangiovese is Italy's most important red grape. If you have ever had Chianti, you have tasted Sangiovese. It's primarily grown in Tuscany, but also in other parts of Italy. Sangiovese often smells like cherry, sour cherry, red plum. You may also notice dried herbs, tomato leaf, sometimes earthy notes. Sangiovese also has naturally high acidity, and acidity changes how we perceive aroma. High acidity makes fruit aromas feel sharper and fresher. That's why Sangiovese often smells bright, rather than dark or sweet. Sangiovese is known for medium body, medium tannin, high acidity. Acidity is a mouth-watering sensation you feel like when you bite into a lemon. That high acidity is what makes Sangiovese extremely food-friendly. On its own, Sangiovese can feel sharp. With food, it becomes balanced. Most Sangiovese wines sit around 13 to 14% alcohol. Not extremely high, not particularly low. The key structural element is not alcohol, it is acidity. Why do beginners sometimes struggle with Sangiovese? Because they taste it without food. High acidity plus moderate tannins can feel firm. But when paired with tomato-based pasta, pizza, or grilled meat, the acidity matches the food, and the wine feels harmonious. The typical price range is about 10 to 25 bucks for a good Chianti. If you see Chianti or Chianti Classico, you are looking at Sangiovese-based wine. For beginners, Chianti is a good way to understand how red wine interacts with food. It is not about smoothness, it's about balance. If you want a red wine for dinner, especially with Italian food, Sangiovese is one of the safest choices. Syrah is powerful. In Australia, it's called Shiraz. In France, especially in the Rhone Valley, it's called Syrah. Same grape, different style depending on climate. Syrah often smells like blackberry, black plum, dark cherry, but it has something distinctive: black pepper. That pepper aroma comes from a compound called rotundin. We already spoke about it in the Pinot Noir section. Rotundin is naturally present in the grape skin. Even in very small concentrations, our nose detects it clearly. That is why Syrah often smells spicy. In cooler climates like Northern Rhone, rotundin is more noticeable. In warmer climates, like Australia, fruit becomes riper and sweeter in perception, and peppery aroma may feel softer. You may also notice smoked meat, olive, sometimes a savory, almost nearly meaty character. These are not added flavors. They develop from fermentation and aging. Syrah usually has full body, moderate to high tannin, deep color. In warm climates, Syrah can easily reach 14 to 15% alcohol. Higher alcohol increases body and warmth. That combination, tannin plus alcohol, makes Syrah feel bold. Typical price range. It's about 10 to 30 bucks for solid bottles. If you want a slightly fresher style, look for Northern Rhone. If you want richer, fruit-forward, look for Australian Shiraz. The food pairings for this particular wine, you should go for barbecue, grilled steak, lamb, and spicy dishes, but not too spicy. Syrah is expressive, it's not subtle. For beginners who want bold flavor with personality, it can be exciting. For those who prefer softer reds, it may feel overwhelming at first. Let me know in the comments which of these wines you have tried and your impressions. And don't forget to subscribe for upcoming videos.